What if I told you that one of the NFL's scariest defenders once spent draft night rage-eating Burger King because nobody wanted him? Yep, the same guy now terrorizing quarterbacks and cashing in millions almost flamed out before he even started. This is the rise of Maxx Crosby. From Rehab to Raider legend. Maxx wasn't the polished five-star recruit with ESPN highlight reels and recruiters drooling. Nope. His only D1 offer came from Eastern Michigan, a program so bad at the time their games had fewer fans than a high school scrimmage. But for Maxx, that one shot was everything. So he didn't just take it. He showed up and owned it. But while his game was leveling up, his lifestyle? Let's just say Maxx was playing defense against himself and losing. College gave him freedom, and he treated it like an all-you-can-drink buffet. Partying, blackouts, disappearing for days. Maxx was living like a character in The Hangover, but every night was a rager. His girlfriend Rachel remembers him vanishing Thursday and showing up Sunday in the same clothes. I can't say this is exactly the nutrition plan of an NFL prospect. And then came the DUI, the wake-up call that should have ended his NFL dreams. But here's the thing about Maxx. When everyone else was saying game over, that's when he was working on rewriting the script. The draft was supposed to be Maxx's big moment. He crushed the combine, ran a 4.66 at defensive end, and walked away convinced he'd be a top 100 pick. Cameras were literally in his living room, ready to catch the dream come true moment. Instead, nothing. Round 1 came and went. No call. Round 2, still nothing. Round 3, silence. By the end of day 2, Crosby was fuming. He later admitted he was furious, convinced his DUI or his smaller frame had scared teams off. With cameras rolling and his whole family watching, he couldn't take it anymore. He stormed out of his own draft party, got in the car, and rage-ordered Burger King. Forget have it your way. For Maxx, it was have it with your meltdown. While other players were celebrating million-dollar calls, Crosby was crushing a Whopper and questioning his NFL future. But then came day 3. With the 106th pick, John Gruden and the Raiders finally called. "Are you ready to raise hell?" Gruden asked. Crosby didn't hesitate. The wait was over. Now it was time to prove every single team wrong. But the NFL isn't charity. Fourth-round picks don't get respect. They have to take it. And Crosby had to earn his stripes the hard way. His welcome to the league moment was lining up in camp against 380-pound Trent Brown. Imagine fighting a moving refrigerator with arms, and then you can relate to Crosby's daily assignment. At first, he got wrecked, but he kept grinding. By mid-season, he was wrecking quarterbacks, and even putting up 4 sacks in one game against the Bengals. He had 10 sacks total as a rookie. Not bad for a development project. But just as his NFL career was heating up, his personal life hit rock bottom. On the field, Maxx Crosby looked like a rising star, but off the field, his life was spiraling out of control. The 2020 offseason gave him the one thing he didn't need: time freedom. With money in his pocket and no football to anchor him, he went on an extended bender. Pills, booze, nights that blurred into mornings. Some days he woke up not even recognizing the man staring back at him. Through it all, the one person who saw the full extent of the chaos was his girlfriend, Rachel Washburn. She had been with him since Eastern Michigan, long before the Raiders' money in Pro Bowls. She was there the nights he disappeared, the mornings he came home in the same clothes, and the way addiction hollowed him out. She remembers feeling like she was screaming down a dark hallway, begging people to take it seriously, but hearing nothing but echoes. At one point, Rachel even left him. She'd threatened it before, but this time she followed through. It broke him. Because he knew she wasn't just a girlfriend. She was the one who believed in him when nobody else did. The one who supported him when he declared for the draft against everyone's advice. And now he was losing her too. That was the breaking point. Max picked up the phone, called Rachel, called his agent, and finally admitted the words he had avoided for years. "I need help." On March 11, 2020, he checked into rehab in Hollywood. Surrounded by people fighting their own battles, he realized he wasn't alone. 30 days later, he walked out, sober. But staying sober wasn't just about him, it was about Rachel. Crosby has said many times that she was his anchor, the one who stood by him at his ugliest, pushed him toward help, and reminded him that he was more than his mistakes. She didn't just stick around for the highlight reel. She helped save his life. 1 year sober, Max transformed his body and his game. Week 1 of 2021, he terrorized Lamar Jackson with 2 sacks and 6 pressures. By the end of the season, he led the NFL in total pressures and made the Pro Bowl. 2 years sober, the Raiders dropped a $94 million extension on him. He went from rehab to franchise cornerstone. And if you thought the story ends there, think again, because life wasn't done testing him. In 2023, he shredded his knee. In 2024, he tore up his ankle. Doctors told him to sit out. Max replied with, "Drain it so I can play." On one leg, he still racked up sacks and Pro Bowls. When the rumors started swirling that the Raiders might trade him, he shut it down instantly with, "I'm a Raider." The team responded with the biggest non-quarterback contract in NFL history, $116 million, $91.5 million guaranteed. The kid with one D1 offer and a Burger King draft meltdown had become Raider royalty. Today, Maxx Crosby isn't just another NFL star. He's the heartbeat of the Raiders, a 4-time Pro Bowler, and the highest-paid non-quarterback in league history. Off the field, he's 5 years sober, a husband, and a father. The guy who once nearly lost everything to addiction now leads by example, proving that resilience, discipline, and the right support system can turn rock bottom into a launch pad for greatness. Maxx Crosby's story is proof that the scoreboard doesn't always measure the real game. From rehab to record deals, he showed that fight beats talent, resilience beats doubt, and sometimes the scariest guy on the field is the one who had to battle himself just to get there. If you loved this comeback story, hit that like button, drop a comment telling us your favorite Underdog story, and subscribe for more wild stories from the world of sports. Because trust me, the next legend is already writing their chapter.